Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you being here as always. Got another ball review coming at you. So I am really focusing for the next week and a half, 2 weeks on Bridgestone balls. You guys have been requesting them like crazy. And honestly, you know, with the vast array of balls they have, I think it's a great opportunity to really get some testing in and find, you know, which balls are good necessarily and which ones should be skipped. So let's just start right at the bottom here. And as you know, this is going to be the Precept Laddie Extreme, which actually, if you're asking me, I didn't even know it was a Bridgestone ball. I actually just went to review this golf ball before I even got into my Bridgestones. And come to find out, it actually is made by Bridgestone. If you go to their website, it's on there. It's on the ball recommender. Not exactly sure. I didn't dig in to see like how, if they ever bought the company or whatever. I'm not sure why they still call themselves, you know, a Precept ball, especially when you have the Bridgestone name, but maybe it has something to do with the fact that they can control a couple of markets. So this golf ball is very popular with a lot of people because one, it's very inexpensive. It's under $1 a golf ball. They come in a pack of like 24. It ends up being like 15 to 20 bucks. So you're getting them for about 75 cents a golf ball, give or take somewhere in that range. And that's very, very inexpensive, kind of like the cut red. So with a price like that, it always does worry me a little bit because the question is always going to be, what are you going to sacrifice? You know, are you going to sacrifice performance, durability? There's usually something that has to be sacrificed there, but most of the time these golf balls are actually sold in pro shops and by the single golf ball. So you can even just buy them single. I see them all over the place. So they're very easily accessible and people seem to just really love them. After looking at the reviews I saw online, there was just tons of 5-star reviews all over. I mean, people really do love this golf ball for some reason, so that's good. So let's dive in and let's see why people like it so much. So let's start out with the ball design, and when it comes to design, this is definitely going to win the most boring award of the year so far. I mean, as you can see, that is just a basic Precept. I mean, that's all it says. At least the letters are italicized, I guess, but, you know, a very basic black font, you know, Arial, it looks like. I mean, just really a basic, boring design. If you go over there to the side there, you got the Laddie Extreme, which means that honestly the alignment tool is a little useless for me because, again, I like the Laddie part, but you've got too many arrows on there. You got so much going on, and you got the big X behind it. I get what they're trying to do, but I would have rather seen that money invested in a new logo or something, especially if this ball is that successful. But overall, I mean, if you're buying this golf ball, you're probably not caring about that because you're not spending more than $1 a golf ball, so you're kind of getting what you pay for when it comes to that. And then, of course, next, let's just go right into the pitching and chipping. So with this golf ball, there is not much checkup, and that's kind of to be expected. It does have a very cheap iometer cover. It doesn't feel plasticky, kind of like the cut red did. It does look like a normal golf ball, and it does have a pretty good shine to it, but you can definitely tell it's not urethane or anything like that. It's a very cheap iometer blend. And of course, with it only being a two-piece, don't expect a lot of pull and tug around the greens. You're just not going to get it. It has a pretty firm release, and it releases very powerful. Although I will say I did like the feel of the golf ball. The feel of the golf ball actually was very powerful. Not very bouncy ball, but actually, like, once you hit it, it just feels like it takes off like a rocket. It's almost like that slight delay when it hits, and it just shoots off. And that's whether you're hitting a full club, a driver, you know, chipping around the green. It all has that consistent feel, which is phenomenal. Putting was the same way. It offered just a tiny bit of feedback, and it just jumps off the putter. Again, not like bouncy ball effect like I see with a lot of two-piece golf balls, just a nice firm power push. And it doesn't take much to get it to roll, which is going to be awesome for beginners. So let's get into the numbers now. So starting with the 9-iron, we have 97.5 mile an hour ball speed. Now that is the highest I have tested so far. Now granted, with the 9-iron, I've only been using that for a few golf balls in testing. I think I've tested 6 or 7, but that's by far the highest I've had. It's like I said, the ball really seems to jump off. 135.8 on the 9-iron distance, by far the furthest. 9-iron carry, 127.9, the furthest, and the launch angle was 18.1, which is actually average. It's right in the middle, so the ball isn't getting any extra height, or it's not losing spin. I mean, this ball's just going a long way. That's awesome. Let's jump right into the 7-iron now, 6,219 RPM. So that is a little higher than my normal zone, but with a two-piece golf ball, that 6,200 range is normally what I expect. If it's like a tour grade golf ball, you know, 3-piece or more, I usually expect around 55 to 5,800. But with 6,200, that's going to allow you to stick a green a little bit better, and it's going to make up for the fact that the cover isn't urethane, so it's not going to stick as easily with that. So I actually normally wouldn't like it if a golf ball was in that above 6,000 range, but I can understand it here. It does make sense. I think it's going to help you. We got 112.2 mile an hour on the ball speed. That is by far the best I've ever tested, period. I know that's weird, but even before, when I was testing the 7-iron with my old Cobras, never got anything near that. 169.3, the highest I've ever tested. 159.4, highest carry I've ever had. 17.8 on the launch angle is, again, right in that average sweet spot. Not too high, not too low, but the ball is just jumping off the club. For under $1 a golf ball, that's pretty impressive. Jumping into the 5 hybrid now, we've got 36.07 on the spin, which is about average. That's good. 121.9, again, that is the best I've had so far. 204.4 is by far the best I've had so far. 191.5 on the carry, and then 13.8. So the 13.8 actually is a high launch, and I got to be honest with you, this I'm excited about because this is actually coming off of a hybrid club, which is designed to get the ball a little bit more in the air. But I'll be honest with you, with a lot of the other golf balls I'm testing, I'm getting about the same launch angle as I did with my old regular bladed 5-iron. I thought the hybrid was going to help me get it up in the air a little bit more, but that just hasn't seemed to have been the case. Maybe I'm not used to it yet or hitting it right. There's a lot of factors in golf, unfortunately. But I did get a good, healthy 13.8 on my launch angle, which was good, and I think that's why it ended up being such a great ball as far as distance, was because of that. So that's just really darn impressive. I mean, all the way around. And then getting right into the driver, the big stick, 25.56 on the spin, very good number. I mean, usually you see them spin a little bit more being a 2-piece golf ball, but that was not the case here. Going into 245.8 on ball speed, that's not the highest I've ever had. You know, I figured with the driver, and it being a 2-piece, more softer compression golf ball, which really is aimed at seniors. Actually, this golf ball originally was aimed at women, but then seniors liked it so much, they kind of just advertised it as a both ball. So contrary to belief, it's not a ladies ball. It's actually a kind of a unisex ball. But you're going to lose some distance with the driver if you have an average swing speed. My swing speed's about 95 mile an hour, 100 if I'm having a good day, if I ate my Wheaties. So I did lose a little bit of distance, but boy, not much. I mean, maybe just a couple of yards. Nothing to write home about. 138 on the carry, or no, on the ball speed, which is, average, nothing spectacular. In fact, the driver might be the only thing looking at these numbers here that isn't spectacular. But again, having such a high swing speed, I kind of expected that. And it actually did have a pretty low to average launch as far as the driver. So that could have had something to do with it too. Maybe I was just decreasing the loft on my driver too much. But even so, out of all those numbers, if I have to take average on something, we're kind of splitting hairs at this point. Okay, so usually when I review a 2-piece golf ball, what happens is once we get to this part, which is the durability, if all the numbers check out, usually the durability is what suffers. But I have to be honest with you, that's not the case here. Bridgestone's really found something here. The golf ball does have some scuffs, as you can see there. It definitely has some scuffs and rips. But remember, this is after like 60 to 70 shots and some chips and putts. And I mean, this ball still looks pretty darn good. The one I actually used, for testing had a golf dot on it. And the golf dot did last all the way through. It just came off on the final hit, surprisingly. So that was good too. But honestly, it's just really impressive. It looks still like it's completely hittable, no major scuffs. That's impressive. So overall, it's really hard not to just be super impressed with this golf ball because, again, once you test golf balls in this range that are under $1 a piece, I don't expect much out of them. Basically, it's a beginner's golf ball. It's not going to spin much, A, B, C, D, E. You're always going to sacrifice something because you have to. You're cutting so much money out. But I can see why this golf ball is so popular because it just performs. It jumps off clubs no matter whether it's the 9, whether it's the 5, the 7, your driver, your long irons, your chipping. It just seems to jump off the clubs. It's very consistent. Even miss hits were right where I wanted them to be, which is great. It's a darn good golf ball, and I'm really surprised by that because, again, it's a golf ball that usually when I see them in the pro shop, I just kind of smirk and laugh and go, I'm glad I'm not using that, and just move on with my day. But I could totally see myself using this golf ball on a cold day or on a day where, honestly, I just need to hit some greens and play some decent golf, whatever, maybe a night out drinking night before or whatever, and I just need to keep the ball in the fairway. I could totally see me using this golf ball 100%. And I think that if you're someone who is just beginning the game of golf, or maybe you have a little bit slower swing speed, or heck, even average swing speed, you ought to give this ball a try. I mean, to be honest with you, most of the time, like I said, you can buy them for a single golf ball anyway. So going to a pro shop and spending $1 or, you know, whatever to try one is definitely worth it. That's super impressive, guys, considering I've got more Bridgestone reviews coming their way. Hopefully they can keep this going. I've got the E6 up next, and then I'll have the E12. Hopefully we continue on this path of reviewing some really good golf balls, because out of the gate, that's really impressive. Guys, as always, I appreciate you being here. Keep watching, to keep saving, keep learning. And we're over 800 subscribers now. I just appreciate that so much. I never thought I would get this far. So let's keep it up. Let's keep going. And let's review some more golf balls.